Hello and welcome to the video. I'm Jimmy the Mower and today we're going to be setting up the new 25 metre Hozelock hose reel. So then before we start, we take all the hose off, all 25 metres, just pull that off there so we can get at the actual reel itself. Now you get a bag of bits with it at the side here. These are for fixing it to a wall and all that kind of stuff. We don't need those at the moment. That'll be a completely different video. If we do it, we'll be using this one freestanding, I think. One of the first things you do have to do though is put the handle on. That comes in that little bag of bits. Now if you slot that grey piece in, that'll just slot in there, and then there's a little yellow piece that goes with it. And be careful, it's a one-time operation. Once that grey piece is in, the yellow piece then goes down and fits on top and basically locks it all in place. I just have to turn that round so I can see what I'm doing. And there you go, just a little click and in it goes. Now that allows you to turn the reel whichever way you want to go. Okay, it spins round as well. So that's that bit done. That's the easiest bit of the whole thing. Okay, next we need to connect this hose to the inside of the reel. Now it's actually in there. There's a little bit in there, so we take off the sort of ring nut and it slides down on here. I'll do that now actually while I'm talking about it, if I can do it. Yeah. Do it one-handed. Right, that's it. So that fits on there like that, and then we actually push this into the middle and thread it on. We'll have a better look at that when we do it with a hose to connect it to the tap. Now that's brought me on nicely to that actually. To connect this to the tap, you have to cut off some hose, however long you need between the tap and wherever this is. Ours is just going to be sat on a little shelf at the side of it, so we just need a short length. I've actually cut some off my old hose to make the end up with on there, so that we've got a full sort of 25 metres still left on the reel. Okay, so now with this then, we'll slide it on in the middle. I'll probably have to get a photograph of this. I don't think we can get any real detail on the camera, if I'm honest. So this goes on and slides in on there. And once that's slid in, we can bring up that locking collar and we put that on and we just tighten it up. Okay, now it should go on fairly easily. There's no like real stress or strain on there. Just hold the hose pipe sort of level with it so it just slides on, and then that will tighten up. And as it tightens up, there's some little plastic clips in there and they pull in and they grip the hose. That'll grip it from behind, and like any plumbing at home, it forms a seal behind there so the water's going out and it can only go one way. All right, I'll just tighten this up and we'll move on to the next stage. So that's got on there then. That was pretty easy really. And with this hose, the new stuff like this, you can see we've got these ribs down here. These are to stop it kinking when you wind it on and stuff. My old one is just, well, it's a bit brittle now, but as you can see, you can fold that over and that will stop the water flowing through. So with this one, I would advise that before you reel it all back up onto the reel, run some water through it, right? One, so we can test the joint that we've done here, and two, it puts some fluid in there, and when you roll it round either way, now you can wind it either way. You can wind it clockwise or anti-clockwise, whichever way you want, whichever way you feel comfortable with reeling it on, and then that's the way it'll just be on there. If you're pulling out 10 metres, you just wind it back up the same way. Okay, so it's just whichever way you feel like doing it. But if you fill it up with water first, it just stops this sort of folding over when it comes on onto this bit. Okay, it should be all right. There's no real problems with them. You know, we've got these ribs on here to stop it doing that, but just to be sort of cautious and belt and braces approach. Right, so don't reel it back on yet. We'll wait until we've made up this extra hose at the side, and then we can reel this one back up. Well, test it and then reel it back up. Right, I'll put this one down on the floor and we'll get onto the extension piece. So with your hose then, you get a little pack here of attachments and things. We'll just rip this open and get them out if I can. Typically, cardboard on here is thicker than normal. Whenever you want them to stay in the packet, you can never get them to stay in, and when you want to rip it open, it's a tough job. Right, got there in the end. Right then, that is the hose attachment for the end of the long hose. That's what you're going to use to water your garden with, or plants, whatever you're doing. So we'll put that to one side for 1 minute. This end attaches to the tap. Okay, that's your tap adapter. There's 2 different standard garden tap sizes in the UK, and this is an adapter, so we can take this out. That's the larger one there, and if you've got a smaller outside tap, this insert fits in to there. Okay, ours is a larger one, so we'll just leave it like that. We know that. And then this bit here, it's got Hozelock, and it's got a little arrow pointing through, so that bit goes onto the tap like that, and to undo it, you pull this back. So as you pull that back, it releases it and takes that out. So that's on your tap, and that comes off. So knowing that, with this end, we can now unscrew it. Okay, like we said, we've got a bit of extra hose here off our old hose, because we want to keep the full 25 meters on that. If you haven't, cut some off that one. Depending what you want to do with it, if you're going to mount it on the wall next to it, you'll need a short piece. If you want to put it down on the floor and move it around, depending on the height of your tap, just make sure you've got plenty of length, because you don't want to leave the reel dangling in midair. Okay, so we've got that like that. We've got the collar on there, we've got that there, and then this is how it works, exactly the same as in the center. We just put this into the middle. It's a bit of a tight fit with this hose. That's into the middle, and we push it on all the way. It's pushed on all the way, and we've got these little grooves, look, around here. Now as we tighten this up, it pushes those grooves in, and they'll grip on there, and they'll form a tight seal. Well, we've already got the tight seal because it's on there, but this will grip it, so when we're moving this round, it doesn't pull off, right? Easy to tighten up again, and there's no need to over tighten. They're plastic threads, okay? So you can always tighten them up a little bit after to make sure. And then, I don't know if we'll pick this up on the camera, but if we look right there, we can see the little piece of plastic have been pushed in. Okay, so that's there. Right, so that's that on. That goes onto the tap. Now, we've got 2 ends left. The red end is a little bit different, look. That's the same as the one we just put on over there. Right. The red end is a little bit different. We've got a stopper in there. Now, this goes on the end of the main hose pipe. And the reason it goes on the end of the main hose pipe is because it has got a stopper. So when the water pressure comes through, it pushes that stopper in, which in turn pushes a plunger in on this side, which stops the water coming through. So when you've got the accessory on the end, it pushes that back in and allows the water out. If you haven't, or the accessory comes off, that will drop on the floor and there'll be no water to come out. Okay, that's how that works. So you always need an attachment on the end. Whether you put this onto a sprinkler or the rose or whatever you've got on there, even the end of one of those brushes, you know, for cleaning a caravan or your car or truck, this is the end that goes on. It just stops the water coming out. You can drop it on the floor without an attachment in and it will just stop. So you don't have to sort of go running back to the tap every time and turn that off. So we'll put that one to the side because we don't need that till later. Now, this is exactly the same as the other one on that side. It's just a mirror image of it. So all we do is connect this one onto this end. Do the same again. Nearly forgot, always put that on there. The amount of times you put these on, you go to tighten it up and you realise you haven't put it on the hose. All right, so just do this one quickly. Right, that's that tightened up. So that's our hose then from the tap to the hose pipe. So this is on the tap, just imagine that's on the tap. We put that on, push it together and it clicks, you hear it click and that's locked in. Okay, to release it, slide this back and it comes off the tap. Right, you want it connected to the tap permanently, so you'll leave that on there. And now, as if by magic, I can pull the hose reel up off the floor. Now we've got this here, and this end will clip to this, just like it would to the tap. So we put that on, and that's that. Unclip it, pull that back, So there we go, clips on. That ends on your tap. Turn the tap on and the water goes into the hose. But because we haven't got the end on yet, the water will be firing out the end like no tomorrow at mains pressure. So what we'll do, I'll pretend I've tested this in here for leaks, and then we'll wind the hose up and we'll put the other end on. Okay then, so now we're at the business end of things. We've wrapped the hose back up onto the reel itself, and we've got the auto stop. It says aqua stop on there actually, but auto stop, aqua stop, whatever it is. The red one, this goes on the end. Now, same thing again, we take the collar off, we pop that on there, and we put this on the end of the pipe. Now, this one was a little bit stiff to get on. If they're a little bit stiff, you can just warm them up a bit in your hands or some hot water and just push it on, okay? But that goes on, that's as far on as that'll go. Can't push it on any further, and then we'll just lock it up with this bit, okay? So once that's tightened up, just make sure that's tightened up as much as we can. Again, don't over tighten them, they are plastic threads, you know. That's it, and you can probably see on that one like the red threads on there, right? That's how they grip in the hose. That just stops it pulling out when we're moving it. It doesn't form a watertight seal. The watertight seals with a rubber ring inside, that just stops it pulling off, right? And that's it. You've set up your hose. You want to go and do some watering, you can plug that end in the tap over there. You put this into the end of here, right? It's easier, and I'll tell you now, it's a lot easier to put this in here when there's no water pressure in the hose, okay? If you've got water pressure in the hose, it's pushing against that stopper inside. As you're pushing this down, you're pushing the stopper the other way, and you'll get water leaking out the side. So put that in first, click that on, and then away you go. And this is adjustable as well. It does take a bit of getting used to. They've had this design for years and years. You'd think there'd be something a little bit different now, a little bit easier to use, but it's tried and tested, I suppose. So you have to hold that bit and you rotate this collar here, and it gives you a fine spray or a more direct spray, depending on which way you put it through. Okay, so if you're watering your roses, you want kind of a mist spray and you spray it around delicate plants. If you want full flow, directing it to something, cleaning something, filling up a bucket, turn it round, you get maximum flow straight in one direction. So there you go, that's that then. It's as simple as that. So if you buy these, I think we've got this one from Screwfix, they're on offer at the moment, but they are available loads and loads of different places. I might have an affiliate code, so check the description below. If you do use that code, it won't cost you any more, and I might get a little bit back to help to keep this channel running, so that would be great as well. Give me the thumbs up and subscribe if you can. Thanks very much for watching, I really do appreciate it. I'm Jimmy the Mower, I'll catch you on the next one.